I showed you the other day. This is 2 days later since I started that video, but I got more wood in and I brought home, what did I do? I think I added on this one and this one. I brought home another face cord the other day, and that one's mostly dry right there. And then I've processed what was on the ground and got that all up. So now I'm out to here. This is a new rack here. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 face cord of racks right here. I've got one face cord to rack in and fill this yet, and a little bit of odds and ends here. There's enough on the ground that would fill that. So I've got 12 face cord worth of racks right here in the middle. I just brought home 2 face cord this morning, and that's all here on the ground. There's 2 face cord here. And then I went back and got 2 more. This is the job I've been paying per face cord. We went and cut and split a bunch of those logs out on the weekend. And then I've got another face cord here and another one here. So I brought home 4 face cord today, all oak, most of it dead. There's a few green sticks here and there in this batch. But that whole pile on the ground was all dead, and most of this batch was all dead, and it was freshly dead, I think, because some of it still has its bark on. But there's a good example. Is it showing up? Yeah. So anyway, I got some work to do. That's gonna be a few hours of splitting and stacking. The other day, I did not do any video, because the day before that I moved 7.5 face cord to wood in one day. I'm not doing that anymore, because it kicked my butt. I was feeling pretty rough. Yesterday, so I worked on some projects around here that needed to be done. Not so demanding, physically demanding projects that needed to be done. And so this stuff's been on the ground. I think I showed you I brought this home. I don't remember. I brought home some wood from the forest the other day. I got 4 face cord over there, and the ground needs to be split. That I remember showing you. I got 1.5 maybe here. Needs to be split from the free stuff I get. I experimented with buying wood, and it was an experiment. I told you I'm doing a lot of experiments. And You know, I went and did a job, cleaned out a property. It's almost all gone. All logs on the ground. So it was better. That's all rotted stuff. You know, it was easier work. And it took less time per face cord to go and saw logs that are in a stack. But some of them were pretty big, so we had to split them on site before we could get them into the truck or trailer. And that took some time. That was a little bit more time. So I'm working it out. I'm doing my experiments. I'm going to figure out what's the cheapest way to get firewood for our homestead. And as you can see, I'm doing experiments on what's the best way to dry the wood and keep it dry. So I've got a lot more going on with firewood this year than ever before. So, you know, we'll see what the end results are. But we're in a warmer period. I got a light coat on. And I got a nice early start to the day today, which is great. I feel better after a day of rest, which I think I needed. And I'm gonna restock. I've got empty slots all over the place around here. So I've got to restock all that. That one was empty. That one's empty. That one's empty. That one I never finished filling. I got an empty one here. That was empty. I'm refilling it. The one behind there was empty. I'm refilling it. The one behind there was empty. Is empty. The one in front I never finished. That's poplar I'm putting together. So I've got a lot of empty spaces to fill. A lot of wood on the ground. I gotta cut that. I brought that out of the woods the other day too. But I still gotta get this. It's gonna rain today, so I had to get an earlier start. That's 4 face cord that I gotta get going. Unfortunately, when I put it here, I was gonna be expanding. I might still do that, but now I want this to fill these gaps here, because then I can tarp and cover everything before the rain comes this afternoon at 2 p.m. So I'm highly stressed with time now to get all this done before the rain. That having been said, I'm gonna go in with it for a sip of coffee. I got a thermos cup, which is great. And then I'm gonna continue on here and finish this pile first before I take a little break. Good morning. This is the day after. Some people may notice some changes in the yard. And, well, we had a wicked windstorm out here. Tearing things up, made a mess of things out here. Ripped off my roof. Now that roof withstood some serious winds. We had 30, 40, 50 mile an hour winds through here in the past weeks, and that held up well. I was very pleased. But it didn't hold up to 70-mile gusts blasting from the east and the west, back and forth. It was just terrifying. Stuff was flying sideways all over the property. My wood piles, I never showed you the video because I had to rush the other day. We had rainstorms, and I had all my wood piles covered beautifully. Thankfully, they held up during the rain. But I had heavy 4x4s. All of this wood was on top of the, oops, I'm zoomed. All of this wood was on top of the tarps, and it was blown off. I had heavy posts and beams and 4x4 lumber holding these tarps, and it's just all gone. It's just, I mean, look at some of the sizes of these pieces of wood. That's oak. There's a pine, but a big beam, and all of this was blown off. The wind was just brutal. And of course, the trolls will have a laughing fit. I hope they die laughing. The ladder flew through the air. Yes, I have found out that aluminum ladders do fly. It didn't hit anything, but I had a ladder out because I was working on something previously, and the ladder flew through the air. I've had that happen a lot, actually. Anyway, it's done, gone, annihilated. I went on advice of many people through the years, and I used nails. And nails are not as good as screws. So I think it wouldn't have failed if I had used my beloved screws. But I experimented and used nails, and it's gone. No damage to the wood, just the nails peeled out. So there's a big 4x4 that was thrown down. There's another 4x4 that was thrown down. All the lumber that I had up on top thrown down. Big. There's another 4x4. Big, heavy, heavy, heavy wet piece of oak. All thrown down. Over here, 4x4 thrown down. Heavy wet oak. Everything got knocked down. It was brutal wind. So again, thankfully, at least we made it through the rainy period and kept the wood dry. Now, I don't know if my camera picks it up, but the whole neighborhood lost power, which doesn't affect me, but we don't have internet, which is annoying. My security light is twisted out towards the neighbor's yard. I got to turn that around. The wind ripped that around, but that still works. We have solar. My office is 100% solar powered, but there's no internet, so I won't be able to upload this until we get internet back. And I barely have cell phone service out here. No, everything gets annihilated in a storm like that. So that's it. We'll see what happens. I've got a mess to clean up and more wood to haul in. And oh boy. But having a solar powered office is absolutely useless without the infrastructure behind it. Absolutely useless to have a solar powered office. I can't do anything with it. Got another load on of semi-split wood. Split just enough to get it on the truck, and we finished up the job over where we were doing this and finished cutting and splitting all that was left. It was a big job. It took us 5-6 weeks to do this job. It was a lot. Almost everything here and that I've had is from that job. It was a lot. I call it a job because it's work, but we paid for it. But anyway, I think there's 2 to 3 face cord left on the ground to get, but there's no more cutting and splitting to do over there. It's just loading and hauling. I'm gonna get this load off and bring this video to a close. I've got the log splitter on the truck. I've got to get it off and then process this wood, get it in that rack, and get this video up to you guys. So please do like this video and share with your friends and share anywhere. Every bit helps. Subscribe if you haven't, because you never know what's coming tomorrow.